So today we're going to turn this Figma landing page into a web page using Chakra, just show how easy it is to create pages like this using the Chakra UI components. So we'll jump right in. What I'm going to do first is go to the Chakra site, click Get Started, then go to Guides and Create React App. I'm going to go ahead and copy the Create React App using the Chakra TypeScript template, and then I'll head over to my terminal, paste this, and rename the project to Web Agency landing page. This will take a few minutes, so we'll come back when this is done. Okay, so now this is finished creating our project. I'm going to cd into it, web landing page. Then I'm going to go back to our Chakra docs and click using fonts to install the font that we're going to use. We're going to be using Brailleways, so I'll just copy this command, paste it in here. We won't need open sans, so I'll delete that. Press enter. Okay, so now it's finished, we can open this project in our Visual Studio Code. Then I'm going to go ahead and remove a couple of things that we don't need from the template in this project. So I'm going to remove the test utilities, service worker, web vitals, the logos, and the color switch mode, and the app test. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these, then open the index project, remove these two imports, and we don't need this either. Go ahead and save that and keep that. Then we can remove everything inside our Chakra provider and remove these two imports. I'm going to go back to the Chakra docs, and I can go ahead and copy this, which is set in our font for us. So what to be set in our heading and our body text to Railway. Replace that import with that. Then, okay, so that's our project up and running. I'm going to go back to our Figma design. So I'll create a new folder called Pages, and in here another folder called Landing, which is going to contain all our different sections for the landing page. So a new folder within Landing, I'll call it Sections, and I'm going to create another folder on our SRC, inside our SRC folder, which is going to be called Components. Within Components, I'll create a header.txt file. I'll create a footer.txt file. Then within the Sections folder, I will create a what's our first section going to be? So we'll just call this intro section. So new file intro.txt, then we'll call that services.txt. Commitments. Heavy work. And testimonials, and that's our footer. So that's all our sections. What I can go ahead now is import into our app our header. So header, which is going to be coming from actually so copy this and change it to header. And then add these in here. So header, footer. We're also going to import our landing in here. Pages, landing, and in here we need to make a landing file. Okay, so now we've got all these components, we need to import React into all of them. So I will React and export default function, except I don't want to do that. So landing, which can just return a box for now. And I will import box from Chakra. So I'll save this and go through all the different files we created and just change these to their corresponding file names. So I can save that. I will close all our different sections for now and just keep our landing page open. So in our landing page, what we want to do is import our different sections. So to start with, we have our intro sections. So intro, then our services. Services. Then our commitments. And then testimonials is our final section. Okay, so then this box, I can place the intro section, the services, commitments, and our testimonials. Okay, I'll go ahead and start a project. Okay, so that's our project started. So, import, go ahead and place our landing in our out file. What's it complaining about? Okay. So we can start with our header component. So I'll go ahead and open this. Go back to here, you can see we've got a little logo text, 3 nav links, and a 4th nav link separate from the .nav links. So I'll go ahead and change this box to a flex container. I can import this from Chakra. Then I will add a padding on the x-axis, which can be 200 pixels. Then I'll give it a padding on the top and bottom of, let's say, 30 pixels. You can save that. We'll also make the width to be full and give it a background color, which is going to be blue. See how that looks. Might want that a bit darker, so we'll change that to 900. Okay, that's a bit better. Our padding on the top and bottom might be a bit too high, so I'll change that to 20. Then I'll go ahead and put another flex container in here, which is going to hold our logo, which will be a heading, my logo. Then I'll do a horizontal stack, which will contain all our links. Save that, and we want 3 links. This one's going to be home, second one will be service. And about us. Yes, then I can just do a link here, which is going to be get in touch. And here we also want a logo. Okay, so we can go ahead and import all these from React. Sorry, that's going to be an icon actually. So, first page. Okay, so we've got all our elements. What we want to do is align all the items within here. Should be center. Wait, is center on the block? No, won't make it. Accent. Drop it down, and then copy this and paste it in the container above. It should line that. Then I will also justify content, space between. Save that. I should have dragged. Content. Save that. Drag that across. Okay, I'll then change the color of the heading to be white. White alpha 900. Got a logo. Then I'll change the color of these links to be a slightly transparent version. So let's go 700. That's quite fun. Then I will make the link at the end slightly vertical, so let's go 800 for that one. Okay, that's fine. Then on our heading, I will add a margin to the right, which can be 40 pixels just to move that along. Maybe a little bit more, so let's go 60. It's fine. And then in our horizontal stack, I'll give it a spacing of 30 pixels, which will space out these elements slightly wider, so let's go 40. Okay, looks fine. Then I will change the font size of the heading. That could be 20 pixels. It's fine. I will space the letters by 1 pixel. Maybe 1.5. So that looks okay. And I will space the letters here slightly to 1 pixel. Maybe less. Let's go 0.5. Actually, I'm just going to remove that altogether. I think it looks fine like that. Then for the get in touch, let's add a margin to the right of our icon, which can be 20 pixels. I'll save that. Margin to the left, sorry. It's fine. Then we want to change the icons. So if we go to React icons, we search for link. Actually, we can search for arrow. And I'm pointing to the top right. Okay, this one's fine. So so I will import this from React icon/fi. Save that. Then another icon if we go as and paste that. Should work, which it does. I'll change the height to be 20 and the width to be 20 as well. Whoa, way too big. Let's go 5.5. Let's go 6.6 and reduce the margin slightly to 10. Just hit the 5. Okay, that's fine. So that's our header done for now. We can then do our intro sections. So if we open up intro, then keep this box. I'll set the width to be full. The background color can be the same blue. We'll then do a flex container which can hold our heading, and another box which will hold our text on this side. So within that box we need some text, and we'll also need a link. So save that. Then I'll import all these from Chakra. I'll go back to our header, and I'm just going to copy this icon as well because we're using the same one in here. So paste that. Okay, so I'll add the link text here, which is explore more. Then I'll just paste some Lorem Ipsum here. Should be fine. Then inviting people who care. Okay, so we've got that. So first thing, we need to add the same padding on the x-axis to this. So we'll go padding x equals, what was it? 200 pixels. To drag that in, then we'll add some padding on the top and bottom. Let's go 60 pixels. I'm actually just going to add padding on the top here because we're going to be overflowing on the bottom here. So let's go padding top, which should be 60 pixels. That's fine. Then I'll give fixed box container a max width of 300 pixels, and then I will justify content on the flex container to space between, which will drag them across. I will then change the color of the text here to be slightly transparent white, so 700 is fine. And then I will go slightly darker on the link again to be 800. I'll then add some padding to the bottom of this, which could be 20 pixels, which will drop that down. I'm just going to shorten this paragraph to more match the mock. Okay, that's fine. I'll then increase this font size of the heading. Let's see what it looks like. 42 pixels. A bit more, let's go 54. Then I'll add some letter spacing in here. 1.5. Maybe a bit more. Let's go 2 pixels, and then we'll change the color to be white as well. Probably space out a bit more again. Let's see, 4 pixels. 4. Take it to 6, and yeah, leave it at that. So what I can then do is align items down here. We'll make that center. So these are now aligned. Then I will add a padding to the bottom of this. Should be 60 pixels. Maybe a bit more. Let's go 80. Then I could add an image. So import image. What I'm going to do is wrap this image inside the aspect ratio component, just so if for whatever reason the image breaks here, it will still default to a placeholder image of the same aspect ratio. Import this. Okay, I've got all my images in this folder, so what I'm going to do is create another folder inside SRC, which I'm going to call assets, and I'm just going to drag all these in. Then I can go ahead and import the group one, group 16 by 9. Just gonna go back to docs and see what the aspect ratio one takes. So aspect ratio. Okay, so it takes the ratio like this. To be full. Okay, so to get this to hang over our section here, we want to give this a margin bottom of, let's say -200. Why is that not going down? Because, sorry, we do need padding on the bottom here, which will give us that. Maybe increase this to 250. Much, keep that 60. Okay, so that's looking fine. Then we can move on to our services section. So close the intro section for now and open services. Then I'll give this a width. Okay. Close the header. Okay, so for this we will need a flex container in here. Save that, which is going to have a heading and some text. And go ahead and justify content, which will be space between. Then I will want a horizontal stack, which will separate our card components. Let's go ahead and do. Okay, in here I'm actually going to create a component in here, which I'm going to call service card.txt. I can import React from React. So I'll call service card. So So our service card is going to take a icon, it's going to take a heading and a description. Since we're in TypeScript, I will need to define types for these, so heading, which will be a string, description for string. I think the logo will get passed through as a string as well, but I need to double check that when I'm passing it through. I can then return a box, which is going to be a card, so I'll import that from Chakra, save that, and then in here I can go and put the source card. So here, then I think that's it. Yes, so I will import all these from Chakra. Okay, I will go back to our React icons and I'm going to look for a computer, some sort of monitor. Yeah, I guess this one will do. So import from React icons / RI, and I also want a pen. Go ahead and web design, and the description I'll just paste some should be icon type from React icons. Okay, that makes more sense. Then pass this its pen icon here. And the heading, it should be okay, so we've got that. Then we can add our heading in here, which is what we can break. And set some loops in there. Okay, so for the heading, we want to go back to our intro file. Copy this and change the color to blue. I'm going to reduce the font size and letter spacing slightly. To see how that looks. Okay, so what we want to do is add some margin to the bottom of this box in our intro section. So the margin bottom, we'll give it 120 pixels. Maybe. No, that's fine, because then we'll add padding on the service section. So padding on top and bottom, which can be 60 pixels, and then padding on the x-axis, which again 200. To bring that in. I'll then make the max width of this to be 300, and I'll give it a color which could be blue 700. Space, then I can align items to the center. Slightly reduce this text again. Okay, so that's fine. Then in this flex section, I will add a padding to the bottom, which can be 60 pixels. With that, then we can work on our service cards. So in here, we can close intro now and go back to services. Then in our H stack, we want to make the width of this to be full, and we'll give it a spacing of 60 pixels. Then our service cards will give the background, can be a light yellow color. I'll give it a padding of say 40 pixels for now, and I'll make the width be full. Should drag them across it. Then we will need a heading, which is going to contain our heading prop, which we've passed through. And we've also got some description, which will be text, and our icon, which sits above this. SRC will be the icon prop. Okay, so if we import these from React, from Chakra again, text needs import. Okay, so we've got that now. We also need our little link down the bottom, so link, and I'm going to go back to our index file, no sorry, not index, intro file, and just grab this icon again, paste it in here, and do explore. I'm going to wrap the heading and text in a box so that I can change this to a flex container with the direction. Okay, then I'll make the height of these containers to be, let's say, 3 pixels. That's perfect. Then I will justify content, space between. Yes, then I will give the, why are these icons not working? Oh, as. Height can be 40, width can be 40, too big, let's go 30, 30. 2020. Okay, that's perfect. Then for the heading, I'll give it a color of a dark blue. Same for the icon actually. And I'll give it a new font size, which let's go with 18 pixels, too small. Bit bigger, so let's go 28 and give it a layer spacing of 1 tick. 2 pixels. Quite fine. Then the text, I'll give it a lighter blue color, so let's copy that and give 700. And I'll add some padding to the bottom of the heading. 10 pixels. And I'll change the color of the link to be blue 800. Maybe increase the height of the container to like 280. Okay, that looks fine. We can then move on to the commitment sections. So go ahead and close the service cards and the services and commitments. Okay, so in this section we've got an image, a heading, and 3 bullet points. So let's start with a flex container, and within that flex container we want a image, and we also want a box container. Just gonna have heading. Then also within this box we will want a vertical stack. It's going to have flex containers which will all have an icon. And if we go back to our React icons and look for a check icon, grab this one. Go ahead and import that from React icon/bi. So I'm actually going to create, since we're going to be reusing this 3 times, I'm just going to go ahead and create another component which I'm going to call commitment.txt. Just going to import React from React, and then it's going to export a const, which will be commit, and that's just going to take a text, which will be a text string, and go ahead and return a flex container, which is going to have the icon and some text. I need to again import these from Chakra. Okay, so I'll go back to my commitments file and import that. Commitments. I can then put this icon inside the commitment file. Don't need that anymore, then we can use commitment. copy that and paste it twice, then give it some text, line of Lorem Ipsum, then I'll need to import these. Okay, so I'll then give the container a padding on the x-axis to be 200 pixels again. Y can be 60 pixels. Give it a background of the blue color. Okay, then the heading, I'll go ahead and copy the props that we passed this heading. So if I go back to our services, grab the heading props. So since we're going to have the image here with no padding, I'm actually going to go back here and just set the padding left to be 60. Sorry, no, the padding here. Yeah, so okay, cool. So I'll add a padding bottom to be, let's say, 60 pixels. And I will justify content to the start here. Start. Should drag them along. Line items, then I'll give color of to be white alpha. I'll also increase this spacing to be 45 pixels. Just a little less. Sorry. That's fine. Then I'll go back to our commitment file and I'm going to add some margin to the right of our icon, which 15 pixels. A bit more, 25. Then I'm going to increase the size of our icon to the width of 5 and a height of 5 too. Slightly bigger, so let's go 8. Okay, that's better. And inside this first container, I'm just going to line items to be centered. Then we can add our image. So if I go back to commitments and image, I'm going to wrap this again in a aspect ratio. Import that from Chakra. Then I can go ahead and import that image, which is the pair programming. Okay, so I've got the image. I will set a ratio here to be 10 by 8. So this will actually be 8 by 10. Save that. Then I can give it a height of 4 Actually, I'll set the width instead. Set the width to be 500 pixels. So that's the image there. Let me make it slightly wider. So this is 600. So that's 550. Let's take 500 actually. So I'm going to remove the padding on the top of this. Remove the padding on top bottom of our container, and I'll just put it here instead, which should lift that to the edges. Then what I'm going to do is justify content, space between, move that over, and then I'm going to add a little bit of padding to this box. Padding right equals 60 pixels. A bit more, so let's go 100. Give that 100, then let's align this in the center. So align items center, move that down, and a bit more padding on this, so let's go 140. Okay, that's fine. So let's move on to how do we work. So I can close the commitments, and this section is going to have a white background with a heading, and we're going to have a horizontal stack, full width. Same with this. So that then I'm going to go ahead and open our services file again and copy this heading. So I'll give the box a padding of 300 pixels on the x-axis and 60 pixels, sorry, 200 pixels it was. Yeah, 200 pixels and 60 on the y. Then go ahead and give this a padding on the bottom of, say, 8 pixels. Okay, then I'll go to our components folder and create a new file, which I'm going to call work methods. And so import React from React. So work method card, which is going to return a box. Okay, so this is going to take a image path. It's going to take a heading and description, and these are all going to be strings. I can go ahead and import this work method card from components. And then I'm going to want 3 of these, so I'll copy that, and then I'm going to be passing then a image passing them a heading, and we're going to be passing them a description too. So in the description, I'm just going to add some lorem ipsum again. Actually, I'll make that a paragraph. Oh, what have I done? No closing tag on that one. Okay, so I'll then import our images for this. So what images do we have? We have the man on phone. Man on phone. Copy this, paste these, then we've also got man on laptop and board. So man on phone first, then man on laptop. So for the headings, we'll go user centered design, and then agile development, and continuous integration. So if we then go back to our work method card, and this is going to have the image we pass through. It's going to have the heading, which will be the I'll go back to our header and just remove that import. We're not using this box. Okay, so we've got this now. So I'll set the box to be full. We want to vertically align these, so I will go align items, which will be flex start. I'll increase the spacing on this to be 60 pixels. Give it small, slightly larger, so like 75. Okay, that's fine. Then just going to wrap this image again in an aspect ratio. Then I'll give it a ratio of 7:5, I think it is. That'll actually be 5:7. Okay, that's fine. Then I'll give it a top and bottom of 30 pixels. Sorry, actually, 15 image. So pattern bottom of 30 pixels. To move that down, I will reduce the heading size to be like 15 pixels. Okay, 24. Then I'll give it a color of our 900, and I'll give it a padding bottom of 20 pixels. That's fine. I'll then just the font size and description to 40 pixels. Our description are pretty big, so I'm just going to reduce them slightly again, just to match the mock-up. I'll also need to set the color of these to be a lighter blue. Okay, so almost there. Then we just have these two sections to do. So we'll do the testimonials first. So again, I'll add padding on the x-axis to be 200 pixels, padding on the y to be 60. I'll go to background actually yellow in this, so I'll go background equals yellow 50. So that should actually be 60 pixels. So back to that, then we can take the heading from our little work. So methods. Heading, pass it props, and just go ahead and say people have spoken. And then I need to import that. Okay, then we can do a grid. And for that, let's go back to Chakra site, find grids. So I can grab this, paste in here. We want 3 on each column, so let's do 3. I'll give it a gap of, let's say, 60 pixels to the elements. We can then go to our components and make a testimonial .txt. It's going to import React from React. Then I can export const testimonial card, which just for the sake of time, I'm just going to not pass anything here, and they can all look the same. So I can then return box, which is going to have the width full, and I'll import that. And I'll give it a padding of, let's say, 40 pixels. Save that, then go in here and import a testimonial card. Testimonial card. And space this 6 times. So then I will give them a background to be white. flip these, then what we want to do is have in flex container, which is going to have our avatar. It's going to have a heading, which will be the person's name. It will have text underneath the heading, so I'll actually wrap the heading in a box. From the box, there's text, which is going to be the person's job. Then below this flex container, text, which will be the quote. So I'll go ahead and import these from Chakra. For some reason, text doesn't auto import. React. Okay, so let's got this guy, Zach Walker. He is the founder of mock.io. And he's going to have some sort of quote. And his avatar will be this image, which is man portrait. JPEG. So save that, and then we can pass this to our avatar. I think that's FSC, is it? Yep, so that's covered in. Let's just size of the head in. What size equals 18. So 16, and we make it the blue color again. We get 900. Then the subtext. Yeah, then give it a lighter blue color for that. Actually, I'll go a lighter grey color for this. 500. It's fine. Then on our avatar, we want to add some margin to the right, which can be 20 pixels. Just keep the spacing. Then in our flex container here, we can line items to be center. And I'll add a little padding to the bottom of our heading. Call it 8 pixels. So yes, this will be 2. Okay, that's fine. Then on our flex, let's give it a padding bottom of 20 pixels. To move that down slightly, maybe a bit more, let's say 30. Then this text, we'll give it a color to be lighter blue, and we'll make the font size 14. Okay, I'm gonna reduce this quote slightly because it's humongous. I'm gonna reduce I'll keep the padding on the left and right the same, but I'll reduce the padding on top to about 20 pixels. Let me look a bit better. Yeah, so that's fine. I'll also reduce the padding here to 20 pixels as well. Okay, then we just have the fur to do now. So if we close all our files and we can open the avatar. So the fur is gonna be full width. It's gonna have a background. We'll give it the darkest grey. we will get a padding of, so the padding is only going to matter in the, no, sorry, so we'll give it a padding left and right to be the same, 200 pixels, and we'll give it a padding of Y of 100 pixels. That's it there. Then we will give it a heading, which is going to be want your business to grow. We should dock. And this is going to be color white. And we'll make the font size, let's go with 54, and we'll give it letter spacing of 6 pixels, and we need to import that. Also text align to the center. Maybe some more padding on the top, so let's make this 180 maybe. Okay, I'm going to reduce the font size slightly to 46. So there, then I will add a padding to the bottom of 120 pixels. Maybe not 120, let's go 80. Then I can add a link, and we're going to open our intro section again just to copy this icon. So copy that icon, paste in here, and get in touch. So instead the color on this to be white, we'll make it slightly translucent, maybe 700. Let's go 800. Move down to the center, and I think that's pretty much done. So here's our site, and I hope that's a good example of how easy and quick it can be to make these sites using the Chakra components. I will put this code on my repo if anyone wants to check it out, and thanks for watching.